A good little cozy for this one. It's been a minute, y'all. It has been a minute. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Achilles. Today we back with a new movie review. I'm mad late to the party. What's today? Today is the last day of February. And these two movies I saw at the end of January when they came out. I'm gonna be reviewing Iron Lung first, and then in the next one I'm gonna be reviewing Send Help, because Iron Lung is like, it was kind of one of the most popular movies throughout like the end of January and February, and I was so skeptical to see this genre. It was created by the YouTuber Markiplier. Even then, when I heard that, I had big doubts about the movie, because you know it was produced, like damn near everything was produced by him. It is obviously low budget, but it did look high quality based on the clips I saw before I watched it. And I even watched his gameplay of the video game beforehand, and tell you what I felt after the gameplay. I don't think I liked the game that much. It seemed like too slow burn for something not that interesting. I feel like the game could have worked, but it was mainly just like drive to a certain coordinates, take a picture, see some mysterious ish, and then keep moving. So the game lacked a lot of the story. You know, I'm all for a mystery, but you gotta have some other intriguing factor. I feel like the most I was intrigued was when the deeper you go, the more the sub gets damaged. Like the pipe starts bursting, and you start seeing some other like some weird bone-ish scattered along the sea. This event takes place, I think it's in space, or maybe it's evacuation of Earth, where humans have to evacuate to another planet. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but humans have to evacuate to another planet because an event called the Quiet Rapture happened, where a sea of blood comes out of nowhere, and scientists are trying to figure out what's down there, what's the cause of it, and shit like that. I'm pretty sure they send down convicts looking for forgiveness, or basically freedom. They send them down with the belief that if they get the info that the scientists need, whatever they did will be forgiven. So multiple convicts go down and they disappear, they're gone. And then the one you play as in the game, I don't think he has a name till the movie. I didn't catch the name, but he finds a note where it's basically like, I'm gonna end up getting this wrong, so don't flame out. But it's basically like, you're not getting out of here. I'm pretty sure something like that. They're using you, but there's like no dialogue in the game. But then, you know, he has no choice but to keep going, because they're not going to bring him up unless he comes out with something significant. That's kind of the whole game. You just go, you have a map of coordinates, you go to each spot, the exact coordinates, you take a picture and see what's down there. And it's a slow burn game where each picture gets increasingly more mysterious. It goes from like regular plants in the blood ocean to like weird what's that name, weird kraken like bones. Yeah, it's just mad mysterious. You're wondering what's down there. And then by the end of the game, submarine that you're in, what is a submarine? Oh, the submarine's called the Iron Lung. That's why that's what the movie's named after. So the submarine slowly starts getting submerged in blood water, and by the end you get a jump scare damn near out of nowhere by this weird blood ocean sea creature, and that's where it ends off. And I think there was more DLC content before the movie came out in the game, but I ain't really I ain't checked that out. I don't think it was that interesting, but y'all let me know if I should. I know that the production started not too long after he played it, and he finally got it in theaters. And I ain't gonna lie, for someone that's not really a big fan of him, I only ever watched like some of his horror game videos. You know, I felt really proud. You know, this is a project where there was mad passion. Like, he's on his YouTube doing live streams, checking out the screenings of Iron Lung in multiple theaters. AMC's taking it. He's over here like balling, because you know this is like his life's work. And yeah, he put a lot of thought into it. but you know I gotta be honest with these movie reviews, you feel me? My main criticism at the beginning, because this could just be the quality of the movie I watch, because I see clips and the movie looks much brighter, but I feel like it was way too dark. Like, I understand, you know, there's this scene where, obviously there's gonna be spoilers, there's this scene where it's like dark as hell in the submarine. I think maybe the light bulb burst. I kind of forget what happened. So the thing he uses to take pictures, it flashes the whole submarine. But then since the light bulb bursted, he had to put duct tape on the button so it just stays lit up. And I'm like, yo, it's still dark as fuck. Like, I barely saw this dude's face the whole movie. But maybe y'all experience was different. Maybe the quality I watched it on was bad. So that's not a big issue, but it's something I took from it. I just think it was way too long. I think the movie is just above 2 hours, which is no, that did not work. The original game's only 45 minutes, and I feel like if you were to make a movie out of it, you could make it into like an hour and a half. Like, you're spending a whole movie in a submarine, and most people's like criticisms of critics was like, if you don't like this, that means you can't sit throughout a movie. But it's like, most times people are only willing to sit throughout a long movie if they either know or have some history with it that makes them loyal to the movie, which a lot of people did, because a lot of people giving this good reviews. But you know, I just felt like it was way too long. They could have did exactly what they did with less time. Like, a whole lot of time is just like camera panning to a light bulb, camera panning to the speaker that the mysterious leader lady is speaking through. And then a whole lot of times it's just staring at pipes, but it's like each of those shots is like 10 seconds long. Like, I'm over here in my room just watching, and I'm just like staring at like the interior of the submarine, of the iron lung. Besides the blood, you know, the camera that uses radiation to take pictures of outside the sub, because they're in a blood ocean and they can't use a regular camera, so it's like a radiation camera that, you know, brings in the photos basically. Besides that, there's nothing interesting about it. Like, it's dead like a regular submarine. Or in the game it was more red, but in the movie it was more orange. You know, it looked like a regular submarine in the movie. So besides the picture taking device, nothing's interesting about the submarine. So we didn't need those long shots of like, oh, each goddamn dark corner, each goddamn cobweb in the iron lung. Like, nobody trying to see that. But yeah, this movie had a lot of potential, bro. So basically, I don't know the main character's name for real. If I was in the theaters, I would have paid better attention. But you know, he's a convict. He gets sent down. He kind of already knows the history of the iron lung, but he's, you know, hopeful because he wants to be set free of his wrongdoings. So he goes down there. And in the beginning, he's talking to this woman over the intercom, and you know, they kind of have a sassy ass relationship because, you know, he's a convict. He kind of has an attitude, and they go back and forth throughout the beginning of the film. He ends up getting pulled back up into whatever goddamn space station they have him, you know, they live on, and he ends up accidentally flashing them with the radiation camera, which I thought was pretty cool because I didn't expect that. Because he wanted to see what they were doing. So he took a picture of whatever was going on inside, because he doesn't know what the scientists were doing. So when he gets pulled back up, I think it was either because it wasn't because he wanted to take a break. I think it was because he found something. I'm pretty sure he found like bones or something, and they wanted to look over the pictures. So he's like, okay, they got me lifted up. They're probably going to send me back down. Let's see what they're doing in this little scientific area. So he takes a picture, and he's like, oh, you mother, you blinded us with radiation. These aren't regular cameras. And he's like, you should have told me that, which is facts. It's like, why are you going to send him down and you're not going to tell him what the machine runs on? So he blinds them, and she comes through the window and she's looking scary as hell. I feel like that's like the the best imagery of the movie. So that was pretty good. I feel like Markiplier he really know his directing. So then they send him back down because the lady's like, we really need this, you know, don't mind you getting me blind, I'm fine. Just go down there and get what we need. And then it's from then on, he goes deeper and deeper, and then the speaker, this is what really confused me. Okay, so the speaker goes out on the woman. I think she doesn't die, but he stops speaking on the intercom. It seems like because the iron lung is shutting down, the submarine is shutting down. But then this dude, voiced by Troy Baker, comes speaking on the intercom, and he kind of has a sass relationship, but he's more like understanding of Markiplier's character's position. And they just do banter for a while, and it's like nothing really interesting comes of the dialogue. Like, it's like every time they speak, they want you to be like, oh my god, what's the thing they're alluding to? What's going on? And unless they're gonna do a sequel, that doesn't really do it justice. Like, it's kind of like, oh, okay, they're teasing this mystery, but it's like the mystery's not that intriguing. At least to me, it wasn't that intriguing. Like, yes, it's a blood ocean. Yes, we want to know what's down there, but honestly, the only vibe I got was like, there's weird ass sea creatures everywhere. I never really, you know. Oh, and I think he ends up in the game. I think this happened too, where he takes a picture. I'm gonna get the game mixed up with the movie a lot, but he takes a picture of like this building thing, and that's what the main like intrigue I had for the whatever was in the ocean. But that's about where lets off, because you know there's sea creatures in the blood ocean. There's buildings that were probably, you know, on Earth before the rapture happened, but it's like it lacks that interest. It just I'm not really that interested in whatever mystery it was. So to have a slow burn horror movie in one place about something that I don't really give a damn about, because everything alluding to it just didn't really seem that interesting. It seemed like the obvious. It's like, obviously there's gonna be creatures in a blood ocean. Obviously there's gonna be buildings down there. You know, it kind of took over Earth or whatever the goddamn blood ocean's on. And it's like, yeah, you know, it's a scary ass situation, but besides that, I don't really care. You know, the dude, Troy Baker's character, stops speaking on the intercom, and then the lady comes back on, but it's like glitchy. And then I'm over here thinking Markiplier's character is hallucinating, like this is all in his head with her speaking over the intercom, but she's genuinely talking to this nigga about important stuff. And in the end, I didn't know if that was hallucinations or not. And then, you know, the people who made the movie would probably be like, oh, that's kind of the point. But it's like, bro, if I didn't, is that really worth making a mystery about? It feels like they want you to be like, yo, what's going on outside? But it's more like, oh wow, I wonder what's going on outside the submarine and with these other people. When you make a pretty regular guess, it kind of answers that question for you. And our main character's dead, so most likely he's not going to make a sequel to this. Who really cares? Like, everything should have been explored in one movie and it wasn't. And now it's just up to speculation, and that just doesn't work, man. So low-key, I'm gonna have to give Iron Lung, that's a hard one, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. It's not a bad movie, so I can say that it's mid. 4 and below are pretty movies, and this wasn't a movie, but it is, the rewatch value is very low because it's way too long. I don't really have that much loyalty to Markiplier. I'm not a big fan of his, so there's that. The story is not as interesting as they try to make it seem, so you know there's not a whole lot of exploring I want to do with it. But as a person who understood mostly the concept and what the movie was trying to do, it just doesn't work for me. I feel like he could have did another horror game and it would have worked way better. But this is his passion project, and I gotta give it a rating. So Iron Lung, 5 out of 10. But that's it for this movie review. We'll be on Send Help in the next one, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Peace out.